Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our online trustee recruitment event. My name is Catherine Williamson, and I'm the director of Richmond CVS, which is a charity that supports and champions local voluntary and community groups in Richmond. This includes helping them with funding advice, developing their organisations, finding volunteers, and recruiting trustees. Hopefully, you have signed up this evening to learn more about what being a trustee involves and to hear from some fantastic local groups who are currently looking for new trustees. Over half of you feel you know a bit about trusteeship. Some don't know very much at all. A couple of you feel you know nothing, and there are a few on the call who know a lot. We are now going to hear a presentation from Julie Gavin, our capacity building manager, who is going to explain the key points of a role of a trustee.
Hello, I'm Julie, and in this short talk I will cover what it means to be a trustee, how to find the right role for you, and where to go for further support. So what is a trustee? The Charity Commission is the regulator for charities. This is their definition of what a trustee is. Whilst legal responsibility is central to understanding trusteeship, there is much more to the role. Trustees are leaders, advocates, and stewards of the organisations they serve. Being a trustee contributes to organisations achieving lasting change for people and communities. As the slide suggests, trustees have different names depending on the type of organisation and its legal structure. Trustees have a number of responsibilities, which the Charity Commission breaks down into 6 main duties. The first of these relates to public benefit. Charity status is determined by a public benefit test, so trustees have a duty of ensuring that what their charity does benefits the public. Secondly, it's about complying with your governing document and the law. Trustees should be familiar with your governing document, whether this is a constitution, a trust deed, or a memorandum and articles of association. Trustees need to stay up to date with all of their filing and make sure that they are notifying the Charity Commission if there are any changes to who is on their board. They also need to be aware of any laws that affect the charity. Thirdly, trustees need to act in the charity's best interests. This is about making balanced and informed decisions, recognising any conflicts of interest that might exist, and being prepared to question and challenge, but also accepting a majority decision-making process. Trustees need to manage your charity's resources responsibly. This involves managing risk, protecting the assets of the charity, and having proper balances and controls in place. Trustees need to act with reasonable care and skill. So you need to use the skills that you have, and more importantly, know when you need to get advice and be prepared for meetings. Trustees need to ensure that the charity is accountable. You need to meet any legal and accounting requirements, being accountable to members and other stakeholders. Accountability should be something that you welcome and not seen as a burden. Charities need a diverse range of people and skills in order to help them operate effectively. I've broken what's required of trustees down into 3 areas: commitment, time, and skills. So thinking about time, there isn't one answer to this question. Like other sectors, charities can vary in size and governance structure. So how much time you give to your role will depend on the organisation, the role that you hold, your availability, and whether you want to take on additional volunteering outside of being a trustee. In terms of commitment, again, there is no set time limit on how long you have to commit to an organisation, but many organisations appoint trustees for terms of 3 years. Hard skills, such as HR, accountancy, or law, are often sought. However, boards also need to have trustees that have soft skills, problem solving, team building, negotiation, people skills. All of these are vital to boards. As our trustees who have lived or learned experience of that charity's cause, this could be your own experience or because you have experience of a friend or family member. Trustees need to be 18 if the organisation is unincorporated. However, for a CIO, you can be a trustee from the age of 16. There are also some restrictions that apply. So you can't be a trustee if you've been disqualified by law or disqualified by the Charity Commission. So why become a trustee? There are many reasons why people become trustees. It could be that you have a connection to a particular cause, or it could be that you've built up professional skills throughout your career and you want to use those to make a difference in society. But being a trustee isn't all about giving, and I just wanted to emphasise the value that it can bring to you as an individual. It can help you learn about teams and how organisations operate, and it can also help you develop your skills and improve your CV. Getting on board an organisation who help place trustees did a survey of trustees and found that 96% of trustees that they surveyed said that being a trustee had helped them learn new skills, and 22% said being a trustee had helped them secure a new work role. Being a trustee can also help you build a connection to your local community. A few years ago, I was at an event and sat next to someone who was a new trustee. They commented on how much being a trustee of that organisation had helped them connect to their local community. So how can you find the right role for you? I suggest you start by doing some research. Have a look at the charity's website. Once you have their charity number, you can have a look at their entry on the Charity Commission Register of Charities. This will give you lots of useful information about the charity, for example, where their income comes from. And you can also have a look at things like their accounts and the trustees' annual report. If you're in conversation with the charity, you could ask for a copy of their constitution and also any business plans or strategies that they may have. It's also important to have very clear expectations about what the role will involve. Read any role descriptions that have been provided. Talk to the charity about how much time they expect their trustees to give. You could ask them about the number of meetings they have and also when these meetings happen. It's important to know that they will fit in with your other commitments. You can also have a conversation with them about what the recruitment and induction process for trustees will involve. The next step is to build relationships. I'd encourage you to take every opportunity to meet the charity staff, their volunteers and their beneficiaries. It may not always be possible for you to visit their premises. However, they may have a fundraising event or an open day that you would be very welcome to attend. You may also want to attend their AGM, which is a really good way of finding out what the charity has been up to in the past year and how they've delivered against their charitable purposes. You could also try out being a trustee of that charity. Have an informal coffee with one of the existing trustees, or ask to attend a trustee meeting as an observer so that you can better understand how the board operates and what the ethos of the organisation is. There is lots of further support available for you while you consider a trustee role and also when you're in one. So on this slide, I've put the link to the Charity Commission's document CC3, which is the Essential Trustee, which is the main guide to what it means to be a charity trustee. I've also included a link here to the Charity Governance Code, which is also useful to have a look at. Once you're in a role, there's plenty of support available from Richmond CVS, whether that's through one-to-one advice or through attending one of our training sessions or events. We run a two-part training session for trustees, whether that's new trustees or existing trustees looking for a bit of a refresher on what's involved. We've recently put that training online, and we also run other events that you may find useful, a lot of which will often focus on fundraising. I look after the Richmond Trustee Network, which is an opportunity for trustees to get together to hear about a relevant topic. So, for example, our last meeting just last week was about safeguarding, and also, more importantly, to network, so to make connections with other trustees in the borough. So thanks very much for listening. We really hope that you enjoy your evening, and we really hope it leads to trustee roles that are right for you.
Thank you very much, Julie. I hope that has given you a comprehensive overview of the role of a trustee. Now it is time for our first 8 pitches. I will invite each of our speakers in turn to switch on their cameras and unmute themselves so that they can take 2 minutes to tell you about their organisation and what they are looking for in terms of trustees. So first of all, I would like to welcome Ashley Whitaker, who is chair of TAG Youth Club, which is based in Ham and Witton. TAG is a youth club for disabled young people, which seeks to provide a safe, stimulating and engaging environment for them to meet up with their friends, have fun and learn new skills.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Richmond. I am Ashley, and it is my privilege to be the chair of trustees at TAG Youth Club. TAG Youth Club provides invaluable support to children, young people and young adults with special educational needs and disabilities, their siblings and families. We are a youth club providing opportunities for our members to make and meet up with friends, take part in fun activities and learn important social and life skills so that they can become as independent as possible. We believe that everyone should have the same and equal access to opportunities as everyone else in our community, and we welcome everybody, whatever their additional needs. In addition to weekly club evenings in Ham and Witton, we provide regular day and residential weekend trips. We partner with organisations such as Disability Snow Sports UK and Parkour UK to make sure opportunities available to our members are as diverse and as ambitious as possible. TAG has won several national and local awards in recent years, for example, as a finalist in UK Youth's Inspiring Hope Awards and Charity of the Year at the Richmond Business Awards. TAG became a charity 5 years ago, and our considerable growth continues. We now raise and spend over £250,000 per year, and approaching 200 children and young people have enjoyed our activities over the past 12 months. In 2020, we amended our governance and constitution to reflect this growth, and we are now a charitable incorporated organisation. We employ 4 part-time permanent members of staff and 14 well-trained and skilled youth workers. We currently have a team of 6 trustees, and we would love to welcome 3 more to help deliver our strategic plan over the next 3 years. We are interested in hearing from people with experience in human resources, legal and finance, and wider skills too. Importantly, a desire to facilitate laughter, joy and happiness is the most important trait of all. Do please visit our website at www.tagyouthclub.org. Thank you very much and have a great evening.
We're now going to move on to our second pitcher, who is Julie DaCosta, who is the Chief executive of Crossroads Care, Richmond and Kingston, which provides bespoke, high quality home and community respite services.
I'm Julie DaCosta, CEO of Richmond and Kingston Crossroads Care. We've been providing high quality bespoke home and community respite services for over 35 years in Richmond and some 15 years in Kingston. We are a network partner of Carers Trust and we're a not-for-profit organisation. However, we are regulated under CQC and we are compliant with safeguarding in Richmond and Carers Trust Code of Conduct. In 2020-21, we delivered over 47,000 respite home and community care hours to over 800 carers and the people they care for within Richmond and Kingston. We provide services from newborn babies through to the elderly across every spectrum. We provide complex care and also hold the emergency respite care service for over 15 years for the London Borough of Richmond. We provide direct support to the neediest families within Richmond, often those most hard to reach. Our key outcomes are to improve mental, emotional, physical well-being to carers. We, as I said, provide respite breaks. We also provide specialist groups, signposting information and build carer community friendly services within the community. We are governed through CQC and Carers Trust. However, despite the daunting challenges, and particularly as we move into 2022, we are a financially stable organisation and have been for the 35 years we've been providing services. We are governed currently by 6 trustees. Their involvement is around 5-6 board meetings a year. We have subgroups in P&F and marketing, and we have a strategic away day each year where we feed in and review our 5-year strategic plan. Carers have been particularly challenging this year, and what we are looking for is particularly a trustee in marketing. So please have a look at our website or email me for any further information. Thank you.
Right, we're now moving on to our third pitch of this evening, which is from Jan Kilsby, who is Vice Chair of Whitton Community Association, which runs Whitton Community Centre, a social hub offering safe, friendly and fun spaces for activities, groups and courses.
Whitton Community Centre is one of the most amazing community centres I've ever known in the borough. It's a warm, welcoming community centre. I'm proud to say that we remained open throughout the pandemic with our food bank, our baby clinic, so that people in desperate need were able to access food. We've got loads of ideas. Some of it was obviously because of the pandemic was put on hold. We're in the process of starting a community cafe, which now you can buy coffee. We're going to do a lot of building work within it. We want to bring a lot of the young community in. We want to bring lonely people in, mental health. We want BAME, LGBTQ. We want to just welcome everybody in, so everyone feels it's a home from home, somewhere they feel welcome. We have a secret garden, thanks to our volunteers. They started from scratch, and throughout the pandemic, they have worked on this amazing garden so that people have got a safe place outside as well as inside. We have loads of activities, but obviously my heart is really to bring more and more of the community in and do more community-based things. I live in the poorest part of the borough is Heathfield, so we have a lot of people in need, and they need people to bring them in and make them feel safe and comfortable. We're looking for anything around law, people that are experienced working with the youth, mental health, bringing in different communities, bringing them in together. It's so vital. Access to IT and web design, media would be absolutely amazing. Law, fundraising, you know, contacts to people with fundraising skills would be amazing. And people just to come in, feel comfortable, have a voice and be the voice for the community.
Lovely. Right, we are now going to move on to Gareth Bubbins, who's chair of Rules. Rules is a local charity that supports children and adults with disabilities and the elderly to live independently, be part of their community and to live life to the full. They provide information, advice, befriending and activities to their clients and their families.
Thanks for a great summary of what Rules does. As Catherine said, I'm Gareth Bubbins, I'm the chair of Rules. I'd add to the summary of Catherine that we adhere to the social model of disability that holds that it's not the individual's impairment or illness that disables them, rather the barriers that society creates that are disabling. Rules has grown rapidly as a charity. I'm here tonight because we're looking for one or possibly two additional trustees to bolster the existing board. As a new trustee, we'll give you a warm welcome and any necessary training. So what qualities are we looking for? You'll be friendly and enthusiastic, able to work well in a team and have a desire to help disabled people. Ideally, you'll also have some relevant experience to offer the charity. If that was to include legal or marketing knowledge, so much the better. As a charity, we are user-led, which means that 75% of our trustees should have a disability, whether visible or not. We would particularly welcome applicants who have a lived experience of disability or who are a parent/carer. Other applicants, of course, are welcome. The formal commitments are to attend a trustee board meeting every second month and to join at least one subcommittee, which also meets every other month, and reports to the main board, though of course only virtually at this stage. The subcommittees are personnel, finance, strategy and quality. Beyond that, it's up to you. So what does Rules do? Well, we offer a range of services to help people to live independently. We support individuals to have the care they want at home. We provide advocacy support to disabled people, especially where they have daunting housing and benefits issues. Our befriending volunteers support clients who are lonely or socially isolated. We provide support to children and their families, including children with special educational needs. Finally, we now run social prescribing in Richmond Borough. This enables GPs, nurses and other primary care professionals to refer patients to our link workers and so help with their workloads. The link workers offer the patients a range of non-clinical services and is proving to be a great success. That is what we still do, but the COVID pandemic impacted harshly on the people we support, and Rules rose to the challenge. Rules is thus a key charity for the people of Richmond. It has a committed and innovative team of just over 40 staff, led by Kathy Maker, our CEO. They look to the board to support them. They also get involved enthusiastically in fundraising for Rules, and as a trustee, you can join us as well if you wish. You'll love working for this charity. Thank you so much for listening.
We are now going to move on to pitch number 5, which is from Louise Robertson, who is a trustee of the League of Friends of Teddington Memorial Hospital, a registered charity working to improve patient experience at the hospital and funding enhancements to both services and equipment.
The League of Friends of Teddington Memorial Hospital was founded over 60 years ago to support our local hospital, so we're probably one of the oldest charities on this event tonight, and I'm very glad that both the hospital and League are still going very strong. Our charity focus is to protect the hospital and to make sure it provides the best service possible to patients and visitors. We have a great relationship and work in partnership with Hounslow and Richmond Community Healthcare, who manage the hospital, and the League's role is to enhance what is on offer above and beyond what is possible on tight NHS budgets. Over the years, we have run campaigns to keep the hospital safe when threatened by NHS reorgs, and we have fundraised to extend the hospital services and buildings. Quite recently, we funded the refurbishment of the waiting area in the urgent treatment centre. We provided meals for hospital staff during the first COVID lockdown, as well as welfare packs to thank the local NHS teams for their amazing efforts during the pandemic. We also run a shop in the hospital. We currently have 5 trustees and we're looking for 2 more to join our board. We're looking for applicants who share our passion about keeping a local hospital and enjoy teamwork. One of the vacancies is to be our treasurer, so finance and accounting knowledge is needed for that role. But the most important qualities for all our trustees are enthusiasm and a willingness to get stuck in. We have monthly trustee meetings, currently by Zoom, and on average, trustees need to be able to spend a couple of hours a week on League business, but it does vary depending on how busy you are as an individual and how busy we are as an organisation. We have 2 employees and a great team of volunteers, so you'll get lots of support and a warm welcome. We also provide any training that's needed. Details of our organisation and these opportunities are on the Richmond CVS job board and on our website. And if you'd like to know more, please get in touch. We'd love to hear from you.
We are now going to move on to pitch number 6. And this is from Simon Westgarth, who's the Chief Executive of Richmond Furniture Scheme, a local recycling charity providing good quality, value for money, second-hand and refurbished furniture.
Thank you, Catherine, and good evening, everybody. So yes, I'm the CEO of Richmond Furniture Scheme. And as Catherine mentioned, we are a furniture reuse and recycling charity. And we have 3 main aims. The first of all, is to provide affordable furniture for those that need it. And that might include people on benefits or recently made homeless and getting a home, or possibly being rehoused or due to all sorts of difficult personal circumstances. We also are very much about a reuse and recycling operation, preventing as much furniture going into landfill as possible. And typically that can mean collecting around about 100 tons of furniture through our free van and collection service around the borough. We also provide a lot of opportunities for volunteers to gain work experience in all sorts of things, from administration to warehouse and customer support, refurbishment, doing a little bit of painting, doing some repairs and so on. In terms of the scheme, we have 7 staff, including one recently who's joined as a Kickstarter, around 30 active volunteers, and over 50 who are on our books. Strategically, the scheme has got a challenge. It's growing, and we are growing faster than our accommodation and other things can handle it. So we're looking at premises, we're looking at having to replace an aging van. So these are questions that we want help from trustees to give us support and advice on. We'd welcome applications from trustees from all backgrounds. Specifically though, we are interested in anyone who's got IT and fundraising, because I think those are areas that are strategically important and of vital key interest to us going forward. So those are the main aims for the furniture scheme.
We are now going to move on to pitch number 7, and I'm now going to introduce Christine Hawes, who is chair of Richmond Carers Centre, and she's going to tell us more about the work they do and what they're looking for. Hello, Christine.
Thank you, Catherine. Good evening. Richmond Carers Centre, RCC for short, is an award-winning charity that supports unpaid adult and young carers working with or caring for someone in Richmond. With a CEO, 11 staff and adequate funding, RCC is widely recognised as a leader in its field. Perhaps more importantly, though, is our 2021 outcome survey revealed that some 96% of our carers felt supported and valued by the services we provided. RCC successfully managed the many challenges associated with the COVID crisis. We used it as an opportunity to quickly build and implement an infrastructure to provide not only to deliver an enhanced blended service, which now includes traditional personal interactions with unpaid carers of all ages and a fully integrated online platform to meet the needs of potentially 18,000 plus unpaid adults and young person carers in the borough of Richmond. As life returns to some form of normality, RCC is striving to make its services more widely available to positively impact on carers and improve their quality of life. We're seeking to complement the board with new trustees who think what we're doing is worthwhile, or even more have been an unpaid carer themselves and understand the stresses that it involves. In particular, we're looking for a treasurer. Fortunately, all daily RCC financial activity and data input are undertaken by a contractor who reports directly to the treasurer, and we currently have a treasurer in post who you can shadow. Future trustees may be third sector professionals seeking to develop strategic planning and personal skills in an unpaid capacity to further their career. They may be senior businesses or healthcare professionals seeking to diversify or contribute more to their local community. Just as welcome are individuals with transferable skills who recognise the importance of the voluntary sector and value what it delivers to the local community. As many have said before me already, the main requirement is enthusiasm and an ability to work as part of a diverse team as we work to meet the needs of unpaid carers. For further information about these exciting opportunities to make a real difference, please look at the Richmond Carers Centre website or contact me directly. Thank you for listening.
Right, we've now reached pitch number 8, and this is Mark Doyle, who is a director at Hampton Pool Trust, which is the governing body of the public open air swimming pool in Hampton. Hello, Mark. Please tell us more.
Good evening. Yes, good evening, everyone. I've been involved with the Trust since 2013 through the summer fundraising concerts, and I've been a director since 2016. Let me just tell you briefly about Hampton Pool itself, which is a heated outdoor pool on the edge of Bushy Park, open 365 days a year, and was taken over by local volunteers in the mid-1980s following closure by the council. It's currently managed on a day-to-day basis by the Surbiton-based YMCA organisation. Now, Hampton Pool Trust's vision is to secure the future of Hampton Pool as a sustainable, enjoyable, year-round open-air environment to benefit the health and well-being of our community. Now, we're heading into really exciting times with the centenary of the pool in 2022 and hopefully imminent planning approval for a significant building development. We're currently looking for one specific role, although there are many opportunities for other experience and skills, which I'll briefly mention later. The key role we're looking for is a finance director, someone who's a qualified accountant who can champion our organisation, bringing strategic oversight of the Trust's financial affairs, which has revenue just under £2 million, and support the fundraising and building development projects. This role will require a few hours per week, possibly more at key points, in addition to regular evening board meetings. Given the exciting developments the Trust has coming up, we would welcome a conversation with anyone passionate about the health and well-being aspects of swimming and exercise. We are looking for people with a background or experience of fundraising, legal matters, customer service, or experience of working with children and young people or adults at risk. Thank you very much for your time this evening.
And we can see that a lot of people have experience of volunteering generally, 67% of you. We have 26%, just over a quarter, who have already been a trustee, so are either looking for another role, because you can be more than one, sort of take on one trustee role at a time, or you've done some volunteering during the pandemic, a slightly lower number for that, A few of you, 16%, have been a school governor or are a school governor, and 34% have helped out informally, and then some others who've done things that have not been covered by those answers. So quite a lot of activity in terms of volunteering and supporting the local community there, which is great. We are now going to hear from someone who was looking for a trustee role sort of this time last year, and they found one as a result of information from one of the online trustee events we ran last October. So this is going to be Patrick Hare, who is a trustee with the People Hive, who is now going to explain his experiences of becoming a trustee.
Hi, I'm Patrick Hare, and I'm a trustee with the People Hive, which is a charity based in Twickenham that works with people with learning disabilities. Volunteering is something I've wanted to do for quite a while. I grew up in a family where we were very involved in the community in general. My parents were always involved in various activities in our community, and it's something that I've always wanted to do. You know, I wanted to do something that would be involving me in my local community, that would be giving back to the community and to maybe some of the people that are more vulnerable in the community. And also I wanted to do something that would maybe be different from my day job, and something that would be a rewarding and fulfilling experience for me personally. I had been in the gallery a couple of times and had bought a couple of things there, and on those visits I had chatted to some of the volunteers who worked in the gallery and learned a bit about the organisation, and it was an organisation that I thought was interesting, that was doing a lot of work that was really worthwhile and really beneficial to the clients that the charity works with. And so it was one that was sort of on my radar. I particularly wanted to be a trustee for two reasons. One, because I've had a lot of experience working in the corporate world and in the business world, and I felt that I have, you know, the kind of managerial experience and maybe more strategic and directional experience from doing that, you know, means I could add value as a trustee to a charity that was looking for trustees, and I felt that that's something that I could do well and I could bring something to the table, so to speak. The second thing is, you know, having a full-time job, and it's a job where I travel a bit in my job too, so I'm not around all the time on a day-to-day basis. I spoke to the CEO of the charity, and she explained to me a bit more detail about what the charity does, how it's structured, who the other trustees are and how it works. And we had a couple of conversations, just general introductory conversations on that topic, to just learn a bit more about the charity for me, but also for her to learn a bit more about me and my background. We then set up some Zoom calls with the other trustees, so where I got to meet virtually the other trustees as well. Part of the sort of onboarding process, it really involved having some phone calls or Zoom calls with the individual trustees to learn a bit more about, for example, the legal structure of the charity, the financials of the charity. I also the charity supported me to attend the Richmond CVS Introduction to Trusteeship course, which I found very useful to learn more about just the charity sector and about what the responsibilities of being a trustee are. The first few meetings I attended were virtual meetings. We've had 2 in-person meetings in the last few months. Obviously, I think a lot of people learned during COVID that virtual meetings can be quite useful and work quite well, and can be convenient if people can't be in the same place. And so our plan going forward is to alternate meetings. Every other meeting will be either virtual or in person. Aside from the quarterly board meetings that I attend, in advance of the meetings there will be some, you know, paperwork, some reports, financial reports and so on to read in advance of the meeting. That might take up an hour or 2 leading up to a meeting. There are also some, you know, additional work that I'm doing with the charity on, for example, identifying sources of funding, that I tend to give maybe an hour or 2 a week to doing that. Some weeks I get round to it, other weeks I don't, and I play catch up a little bit. But it's something that I tend to just set aside a little bit of time, whether it's like one evening a week or Saturday morning or something. The board meetings occur about once every 3 months. In between that, the communication is usually by email. I may have a phone call or two with the CEO of the charity as well in between meetings. Definitely with the board that I'm working with, I definitely feel like everyone is very approachable, everyone is very helpful, and as the kind of newbie in the group, they've all been more than willing to take time to explain things to me or to answer questions that I have. I think I'm good at thinking about long-term, more strategic, forward-thinking kind of conversations, and so I think that I've been able to bring that to the board that I'm working with. The charity has been focused a bit recently on working out what the kind of strategic plan is for the next 3 to 5 years, and I think that's something that I've been able to contribute to, and I've been able to help the other board members maybe think through the strategy a little bit. I think I've enjoyed being involved in an organization that's really integrated within my local community and that's really supporting people within the community. I particularly wanted to get involved with a local community-based organization, and that's been exciting for me to be involved with a charity that is, you know, so local and so community-based, and that's really helping and supporting people in my own community, and that is you know, something that feels good, that feels rewarding, and I'm really pleased to be doing that. It's also been a great opportunity to meet some great people that are, you know, the other people that are involved in the charity, and it's been a lovely way of meeting some other people in the area. Being a trustee is a little bit different in the sense that maybe your role is a little less hands-on, and it's a little more of an oversight kind of role. So, you know, you're not necessarily involved in the doing on a day-to-day basis, but instead more involved in kind of keeping up with what the charity is doing and what things are going on with the charity, and then, you know, thinking about whether those things are in line with the goals of the charity and whether they're in line with the strategic vision that the charity has set out. Having just a different range of people involved, having a different range of perspectives and opinions is something that's really valuable. And so even though I might feel like my own personal experience isn't directly relevant to the topic that we're talking about right now, it's still helpful to the board as a whole to have those different perspectives and viewpoints. The Introduction to Trusteeship course that Richmond CVS holds was really helpful there, and both the course itself, but also it pointed me towards some other resources and some other sources of information to learn a bit more about that. But I think that's been probably the hardest thing, has just been getting up to speed with some of that and learning about some of that. Having said that, it's not that there's, you know, a huge number of responsibilities or liabilities or anything like that. It's just familiarizing yourself with what they are, and as someone who didn't work in the charity sector before, you know, I didn't even know where to start to find that information out. So having a resource like the Richmond CVS, for example, has been great to help point you in the right direction. And I think the main things are to be interested and inquisitive about the charity that you're getting involved with, to, you know, be interested to learn what the charity is doing and how it's doing it, to ask questions, to want to understand what the charity is doing. And I think also to care about it, right? To care about whether it's the kind of particular cause or group or purpose that the charity serves, you know, to feel passionate about that and to care about wanting to help and to wanting to be involved in that is important. And the other thing I would say is just, you know, not being afraid to ask questions, not being afraid to question the way things are done. I think that is one of the roles of the trustee, is to kind of question, why are we doing things a certain way? Is that necessarily the best way? And not being afraid to ask those questions or to challenge the way things are being done. If anyone is interested in becoming a trustee for the People Hive, You can visit our website, thepeoplehive.org, and you'll find a bit more information about the charity there, but also the contact details for the CEO and for the charity directly. You'll also find some details about who the existing trustees are. It's been rewarding, it's been great. I've worked with some really nice people, and it's been a fantastic experience so far.
Thank you very much, Patrick. I think it was really helpful to hear a sort of first-hand from somebody who's been relatively new to the trustee experience, and to sort of hear them describe sort of how they found that journey. And I'm really pleased that Patrick has found it useful to get support from Richmond CVS. We are now moving on to our second batch of pictures. And as if it was planned, we are now going to hear from Bernadette Jansen, who is a trustee at the People Hive. Hello, Bernadette.
Hello.
Begin.
Thank you, Catherine. And also thank you, Patrick, my fellow trustee. So at the People Hive, we aim to create and support real opportunities for local people with a learning disability through a range of affordable activities and learning projects. Our regular program includes social activities such as a weekly pub night, book club, sing and dance groups, and health and well-being activities such as relaxation and meditation classes, cooking, walks, etc. We also work in partnership with other charities and the local colleges to provide a range of learning opportunities. We regularly ask feedback from our clients, and we use this to inform our direction and our strategic plan. At our site in Heath Road, we also run a successful gallery where over 100 local artists and craftspeople showcase their work. This gives us not only a commission-based income, but a great opportunity to publicize our charity work, to raise awareness for the public about adults with learning disabilities, and to provide work and volunteering opportunities for our clients. The People Hive currently supports 189 adults with learning disabilities. We run all the activities and the gallery with 1 full-time and 7 part-time staff and 56 brilliant volunteers. We currently have 5 trustees and are looking for a few more people like Patrick, people who believe in our mission and who want to use their expertise and their experience to add value to the lives of local people with a learning disability. I guarantee you that if you were to join us as a trustee or a volunteer, you will meet the most lovely people and get a great deal of satisfaction. If you'd like to know anything else, please check our website, thepeoplehive.org, and contact our CEO. She's wonderful, Samantha Finn. Finally, I would like to just take this opportunity to thank the Richmond CVS for all the work they do in arranging these and all the other events. Thank you very much for listening, and maybe hope to see you soon.
Thank you very much, Bernadette. Really nice to hear more from the People Hive. We are now moving on to pitch number 10, and this is Bob Dark, who is Vice Chair of the River Thames Boat Project, which offers therapeutic cruises and delivers fun and dynamic educational and learning activities on the River Thames.
Good evening, everyone. So the River Thames Boat Project was founded back in 1989 when the then Mayor of Richmond passed over to us a 81-year-old Dutch barge with the hope that we could help more people benefit from experiencing our wonderful stretch of the Thames that surrounds us here in Richmond. So happily, 32 years later, we've been doing just that on a regular basis, and the charity has grown and thrived. We now have 2 boats. Thames Venture, which is the elder statesman at the grand old age of 113, is mostly moored by Teddington Lock. Many of you may have seen her there, and that is the vessel that does most of the education for local schools. The newbie, Thames Discoverer, chugs up and down the Thames doing cruising, and that's a new boat that was built for us. Our stats are something we're very proud of. We support about 1,500 school children a year with eco-based education on the Thames and about 1,000 cruises. We have really good relationships with our clients. About 2/3 rebook every year, and many of them have been clients for decades. But the real magic, of course, is our volunteers, who we're very, very proud of. And particularly, it was great to get Queen's Award for Voluntary Services this year, which was a high point in the charity's history. And amongst the volunteers, of course, the volunteer directors and trustees are particularly important, and we're looking for new blood to help us guide and deliver a strategy for the organisation that takes it forward and embraces new challenges as we look to expand the offer on the river to new people. In particular, we would love to have people with practical boating experience and indeed experience of working with disability groups. But as many of my colleagues here have said tonight, the real thing that sets you apart is a ability to roll your sleeves up and get involved in what has been a really enjoyable charity for me to be a trustee of. So thank you very much, everyone, and thank you, Catherine.
We are now on to pitch number 11, and this is Cheryl Robson, who is Director of Aurora Metro Arts and Media, a charity based in Twickenham that champions diversity and equality through arts and educational projects, both locally and globally.
Hi there, everyone. Thanks for having us. Aurora Metro Arts and Media is an arts charity based in Twickenham, carrying out arts projects that educate and inspire. Our mission is to promote equality and diversity through arts and education projects in the community. Some of our recent projects include a touring exhibition about the suffragettes, which was to commemorate the centenary of women getting the vote, a project celebrating the rock music heritage of Eel Pie Island, including an award-winning book and film, ultimately helping to create the Eel Pie Island Museum, and a book recently which collated 30 interviews from inspiring Black women challenging the stigma around black hair. And we'll be doing a talk with Streatham Library to promote that later this month. We're also doing another project relating to rock music, which I'll let Charlotte tell you about in a minute.
So, yeah. So our current projects, one of them is, as Cheryl mentioned, a project called Rock's Diamond Year, which will chart the incredible story of the 1960s by exploring the history of local music venues such as the Evening Club and the Crawdaddy Club in Richmond. We will be running an oral history project, creating a community archive and publishing a book. We are also running a campaign to get a statue of Virginia Woolf on Richmond Riverside. We have reached 75% of our fundraising target and need your help to raise the final £15,000. By supporting us on this project, you can meet lots of passionate local people, support women's and LGBTQ history, and learn about a fascinating part of Richmond's heritage. If these sound interesting to you, please get involved. Aurora Metro welcomes applicants from all backgrounds. We will be particularly interested in candidates with experience in marketing or PR or volunteer management or fundraising. However, none of those skills are necessary. The only requirement is that you share our commitments to diversity and equality and are as excited about our projects as we are. We would also ask you to commit 2 hours a week and to attend the occasional evening board meeting. Thank you for listening. If you're interested, please send us an email and we can arrange a time for you to come into our Twickenham office to discuss the role over a cup of tea.
Right, we move onwards. I hope you're noticing the wide range of organisations we have this evening. It really is quite a showcase of all the different organisations we have in Richmond who support the local community. And our pitch number 12 this evening is John Anderson, who is the chair of Healthwatch Richmond, and he is going to tell us more about what they do and what they are looking for. Hello, John.
Hi, Catherine. Thanks and good evening, everyone. Healthwatch Richmond is discharging a statutory function. It's the only independent watchdog for NHS and social care services in the borough. Healthwatch Richmond works to get services right for the future. Our sole purpose is to understand the needs, experiences and concerns of people who use health and social care services and to speak out on their behalf. Healthwatch Richmond is here to make sure that those running services put people at the heart of care and listen to the lived experience of people who use those local health services. Healthwatch Richmond is a powerful and respected organisation. We have the right to examine services, write reports, make recommendations for change, and follow up with service providers on their response to our findings. Healthwatch Richmond also helps people to access NHS and social care, sometimes by direct intervention, but also through other kinds of signposting. Healthwatch Richmond issues communications to raise awareness of important current issues, such as vaccination and data sharing. We help to ensure that the public can take part in significant consultations about services, including in other parts of the voluntary sector. Healthwatch Richmond trustees and operation committee members are at the heart of all this. They help to ensure that we can reach all parts of the NHS and the care system, and that the work of Healthwatch Richmond reflects fully the needs and views of local people. Healthwatch Richmond is looking particularly to improve the diversity of our trustee board and operations committee so that we much better reflect our community. We want to hear from diverse people who have experience of local services and the knowledge to get directly involved in our work. Healthwatch Richmond would particularly welcome applicants or interest from people with a strong grasp or at least a knowledge of the developing policy agenda for integrated care systems as the NHS locally is reorganising, and have particular abilities to represent Healthwatch Richmond at senior level meetings with the NHS, the local authority and others. The roles might be really suitable for professionals from the health and care sector, from the civil service, local authority, but certainly from people who are committed to ensuring that the patient voice is heard. If you are interested in the kind of work I've described, please search for our website, Healthwatch Richmond, and call Mike Derry, our Chief Officer, on 8099 5335. Thanks very much.
I am now going to move on to our next picture, who I hope will be ready to start a little earlier. It's going to be Sue Pendle, who is the chair of the Cambrian Community Centre, which is located on Queens Road Estate in Richmond and has been supporting health and community for over 25 years.
Well, good evening, everybody. So I'm Sue Pendle, Chair of Trustees of the Cambrian Community Centre, which, as has been mentioned, is in the Queens Road Estate in Richmond, which is an area of social housing and some social disadvantage. We have 2 community rooms and a community gym, and we employ a part-time manager and a team of part-time gym staff. We're in the process of developing the skill set of our trustee board and are now particularly looking for people with skills and experience in any one of the following 4 areas. We're interested in people with marketing and communication skills, with IT and systems skills, with building property related skills, so architectural, surveying, that sort of thing. And because we run a gym and a venue, we would also benefit from a trustee who has experience of either gym or venue management. The Cambrian Community Centre is a valuable community asset to get involved with. And that's because we not only run a small independent community gym, but it's a gym that specialises in rehabilitative work with people recovering from surgery, stroke, cardio issues or other ill health. And does a lot of really good work in that area. We run a set of community activities, a programme which includes yoga, drawing, tai chi, table tennis and so on. And that's focused very much on social engagement with the local community. And we maintain access for all to those activities by keeping our charges low and subsidising costs. The reason you might consider getting involved with the Cambrian Community Centre is because the trustee board plays a vital role in ensuring that the centre continues to thrive. So you would be adding real value to an important community asset. You'd find yourself involved with some interesting items on the trustee board's current agenda. For example, developing the profile and level of engagement with the Cambrian Community Centre, working to improve the centre's building and exterior spaces, or working to ensure that the IT systems are robust and effective and sustainable going forward. But particularly importantly, the centre is a friendly and welcoming place, and the board is a great team to get involved with. So you would meet and work with some interesting people and develop new skills. If you think you might be interesting and you'd like to find out more, please do visit our website, the Cranberry Community Centre, contact me or contact our centre manager, David Lemon, whose details are on the website, and we'd be delighted to hear from you. Thank you.
Now moving on to Gabe Flint, who is the principal of Richmond and Hillcroft Adult and Community College, RAC for short, which is an institute of adult learning. And their mission statement is empowering adults and communities through education, skills and enterprise.
Hello everybody, I am Gabe Flint, I'm the principal of RAC. RAC is a specialist adult education college, and we exist to enable adults and communities to thrive through education. We have two sites, Popshot in Richmond and Hillcroft in Surbiton, and we have 400 members of staff. We were shortlisted for the Times Education Supplement's Adult and Community Learning Provider of the Year this year, and we're also proud winners of the Richmond Chamber of Commerce's Best Charity Award. We welcome 6,000 adult learners every year who come to us from all walks of life and are of all abilities and backgrounds. Our youngest learners are 18 years old, and we have no upper age limit. We have many learners in their 90s. We're very proud to be a diverse and inclusive community, and we have a large provision for local adults who have severe disabilities and complex needs. We serve everybody in the local community, but we particularly welcome adults who need to improve the basic skills of English, maths and digital skills, so it can help them to get work or gain more independence. Adults who need the skills and qualifications to change careers or to improve their prospects. And the wide range of adults who need to improve their well-being by developing new interests and hobbies that help them connect with others, because learning is one of the ways to well-being. We're only part funded by government, and we need to be enterprising to make sure that we can generate funds to create bursaries for those adult learners who can't afford to pay fees and aren't eligible for government grant funding. We believe that education should be available to everybody, and we do our best to make sure that it is. We are looking for governors who are passionate about education. We welcome applications from people of all backgrounds, but we are particularly looking for somebody with audit or finance experience. I'm really happy to talk to anyone who would be interested in finding out more or who'd like to come and visit us to see what we do at either Popshot or Hillcroft. So please do get in touch. Thank you.
Right, we are now moving on to Roger Hillier. Roger is chairman of the Friends of Richmond Park, which is a charity dedicated to the conservation and protection of Richmond Park, and also aims to advance public education about the park.
Thank you. So Richmond Park is a wonderful place. It's London's largest royal park, a national nature reserve, a special area of conservation. But will it be that wonderful place for generations to come? And what are the challenges of climate change, biodiversity and visitor numbers? And how do they get managed? Well, the park is managed by a charity called the Royal Parks. That's not us. We are independent of them. We're the Friends of Richmond Park, 3,500 members, 300 volunteers, formed 60 years ago. Our objectives, as Catherine has said, are to promote the conservation, protection and improvement of the park, and to educate people about its special status. Our 300 volunteers do everything from practical conservation work, staffing the visitor centre in Pembroke Lodge. We have 150 people who do litter picking around the park. We monitor noise, light, events. We campaign. We educate through books, webinars, films, talks, walks, and we fundraise for conservation in the park. We have no paid staff. Our trustees lead and manage the charity and take it forward. Each one of our trustees usually manages one of our activities. We are particularly interested in trustees who might have experience with marketing press relations or journalism, or volunteers who would be willing to run our events, or volunteers with governance and policy, perhaps legal skills to help be the secretary of the charity. But if you have a love of the park and you want to help and lead manage the Friends, please do contact us. We'd welcome the chance to discuss with you how you could join us and help protect the beauty of Richmond Park for future generations.
Right, I'm going to go back to Richard. Richard, we're going to try one more time to see if we can connect with you. Richard Hurst from Richmond Borough Mind.
Well, hello everyone, finally. I'm Richard Hurst, as Catherine said. I chair the Board of Trustees of Richmond Borough Mind, the mental health charity. I've been a trustee for almost 5 years now. Nowadays, we're all much more aware of the importance of well-being and the many ways that poor mental health can impact people's lives and those of their families and perhaps carers. We also know how hard-pressed the NHS's mental health services were even before COVID. Richmond Borough Mind provides a wide range of services to help people cope and get better. They range from one-to-one counselling to small peer groups that bring together people with similar challenges. We make presentations in schools and in businesses, coaching mental health awareness, and we have 2 crisis drop-in centres for anyone with a problem, and we have a wellbeing centre. You can see a full description of on our website, rbmind.org. In the past year, we've helped more than 2,000 people, and we've reached more than 6,000. We're looking for several new trustees who ideally would bring to our board further skills, particularly knowledge of charity law, digital transformation expertise, and experience of equality, diversity, and inclusion. People with lived experience, either their own or a family member or a friend, are especially valuable for obvious reasons. If you're interested in becoming a trustee, you can find an application form on our website, rbmind.org, and more details about the role of a trustee in our charity. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being so patient to wait for me.
Fantastic. Right, we have reached the end of our 16 pitches. You've heard from a range of organisations, and I think we would agree that all the speakers did a fantastic job. So thank you very much to all of them for talking about their organisation so passionately and giving a lot of information. I'm pleased and relieved to see that this is looking very positive. Nobody is saying they know nothing, and nobody is saying they don't know very much, which is a massive improvement on the beginning of the evening. And more than half of you, 57%, are saying that you know a lot now. And actually that's still going up. And the rest of you know a bit. So 42% feel you know a bit more than you did earlier. So definitely, I think we can feel that your knowledge has increased this evening, which is great. In the follow-up information, there will be some bonus material with trustee roles from organisations that we weren't able to fit in this evening. So I'm just going to name check a couple of those now. We have Integrated Neurological Services, INS for short, which provide long-term support to people with a neurological condition. Citizens Advice Richmond, who provide a range of information and advice to anyone living, working or studying in the borough. Richmond Aid, which supports people of all ages with disabilities and provides a range of services. And there'll also be information about Strawberry Hill Overseas and Community Concern, which is the St Mary's organisation that brings together all the university's charitable work with local and global communities. So as I say, that's at least 4 more organisations that you will receive information on. So if any of those are of interest to you, you'll be able to make contact with them as well. But I would now like to thank you all very much for attending this evening. Again, thanks to our speakers for their fantastic pitches. And thank you for my colleague Julie for her presentation about being a trustee, and to Patrick Hare for his really informative and interesting talk about being a trustee. I'd also like to say thank you to the Richmond CVS team, my colleagues Caroline, Viv, Sid and Julie for all their hard work. We really hope you found it an informative and positive event, and that for many of you, it will be the start of you finding a trustee role. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. Goodbye.